Hey there, it's Toasty Fresh and I'm back with another video, and it's going to be a bit of a departure from just doing the usual video game stuff, collections, and it's more of a topical video, and it's in a reply to a cool guy that I've seen on YouTube and on other sites, and that's Lifespiller 79, and his video on anxiety and being an introvert and things like that. And I kind of wanted to do my kind of views on being an introvert, because I'd said myself I'm definitely an introvert, and I do have some of those kind of things of anxiety. And just watching his video, which I watched a couple of months ago now, I think he did it just before Christmas, I watched it and I thought it was funny how many of the things that he said, you know, his traits that I found, you know, oh, that's just like me, and there was kind of a lot of similarities to what I do. And I wanted to do a reply video then, but again, the introverted side of me, it made me pause a bit on wanting to do the video, and then I kind of put it was one of those things, I put it off and I put it off and I put it off, and then I just didn't end up doing it. And finally I watched the video again and thought, yeah, I'd like to, you know, have a go and push myself to actually do it this time. And the way I see it, how he said, you know, being introverted and things like that, I kind of agree with. Like he said, introverted people, you know, kind of feed off loneliness, and extroverted people, you know, feed off the energy of being around people. And I don't know, I kind of see introverted is, to me, that kind of word. It's a hard kind of thing to describe, because a lot of people they'll just say shy or whatever. And introverted, to me, brings up the thing of your emotions and everything like that is very internal. You're not an outwardly expressive person, which is mainly like me, especially when I'm with groups of people I don't know. I'm a lot more inward, and that's how I see introvertedness, as it affects me. Like a lot of people, they'll watch something and they'll be laugh out loud. They'll actually laugh out loud, and with me, a lot of it is I'll find something funny, but I won't really laugh out loud. I'll just get a little smile, and sometimes people think that, you know, I'm a pretty serious guy and I don't, you know, have much of a sense of humour kind of thing. But really, it's just that I don't outwardly show my emotions, especially around other people, and that's where kind of the being introverted kind of thing comes in. Extroverted people, their emotions are very outward. You know, they show them more on the sleeve and on the face. You could see what they're up to. The kind of thing he was saying, we've been around people, I don't know how you describe it, because there's not really a word kind of for it. But that's how I'd see it. If you see it in introverted as that sense of the word, I'd see it as more not you feed off your loneliness. I'd say it's more you get more of a feeling of well-being from being on your own, and comfort, that kind of thing, being in your comfort zone is more, you know, you take comfort in being on your own. Whereas some people who's kind of extroverted, they like to hang around with people, you know, they take more comfort in having people around them and things like that. That's how I see it. I see it as more of it's, you know, you take the comfort of being on your own, because that's more how I see it, and that's where the similarities were as well between the two of us, and maybe other people who'd agree with the video, where there's the fatigue, because that's what it's like for me. Being my comfort zone more is being on my own, so that when I'm with people, it's kind of, that's where it gets fatiguing, and then I take myself away to kind of recover and, you know, chill out and kind of let the barriers down. Because my kind of thing, it's a weird, how it affects me is I'm more like it's like a natural kind of reaction that comes about. Like I don't know if I'd say shy, because I've always kind of seen it as it's kind of an involuntary, it's something that's out of my control kind of thing, and just the barriers go up, and like my defences go up, and sometimes if I'm around a big group of people, it'll be like the adrenaline. You'll just kind of feel the adrenaline, and you'll get a heightened sense of yourself, and just you shut down a bit more. And sometimes I'll be thinking, you know, my mind will still be going, and I'll be following the conversations in a group of people, but my mouth just won't work. It's like it's going on there, but it's trapped, and that's where I kind of got you get a build up of, you know, frustration and things like that. Like in high school, when the problem was much worse, I was very much more like introverted and that kind of thing, and socially distant. It was more of a problem and led to anger issues and things like that. And whereas now I'm a bit more outgoing and things like that, and I've, you know, come out of myself a bit more than what I was back then. But that's how I see it, is it's kind of involuntary thing, and it still happens now where I'll catch myself. I'll be following trends of conversation, and I think of things I can add to it, and then I'll kind of try, but it's trying to break through the reservation and the barriers that your body's just put up there. And sometimes then you don't contribute much, because then the moment's gone and the topic's moved on, and then you can't mention it then, and that kind of thing. And that's where the frustration comes in. But yeah, but other things I'm not so much on, like the walking through crowds and things like that. He said he gets a rush, and sometimes he gets the anxiety, whereas with me it's more, crowds aren't too bad. Like I go to football matches and things like that, and it's not too bad because the attention isn't on me. The attention's on the football match, and I'm part of the group watching inwards to like the pitch, and that's fine. I don't mind having a lot of people around me then, because I know that the focus isn't on me really. It's when you kind of think the focus is going to be on me, and kind of with me it's more not the physical signs of, you know, sweating or the heart rate going. It's more the mental things and the thinking the worst, which was another thing I think I remember from that video. It's you're thinking the worst, things start going through your head, and these thoughts start creeping in, like you're walking down the street and you'll be starting to think that maybe some people are looking at you and what have you, or like just for instance, you'll be somewhere and somebody will laugh over the street, or you'll be eating somewhere and somebody will laugh on another table, and sometimes you get this little thing and it's like, are they laughing at me, and things like that. You kind of always, sometimes you get this thing and you're aware of yourself, and oh, do I look stupid and things like that. And similar with doing things like how he says, you know, sometimes you build up the confidence to think, oh, maybe you want to go and do something like karaoke in a karaoke bar, and you think, oh, I'll go up, and sometimes then it stops you because you're thinking, oh, I'll mess it up, I'm going to look stupid, I'm going to make a fool of myself, kind of thing. And that kind of hit home to me as well. And there was a couple of things that were very similar. Like I said, he has a tendency to pace a lot. Like at home for me, I tend to do that a lot. Sometimes if I'm thinking about something, or I'm trying to work out to do something, I'll pace up and down the room. And sometimes if I'm talking to people as well, I'll pace a lot. And on the phone as well, if I'm talking on the phone, sometimes I can't keep still, I'll have to start pacing. Because back when I was younger as well, I found it hard to even ring people up and do conversations if I didn't know who I was going to be phoning. Unless it was a friend, that was fine, but otherwise I had problems with that kind of thing as well. And so that's like kind of my experiences more with it. Is a more the mental kind of thing and a mental block. And I think it's just something that's natural. I mean, I think really I'm naturally introverted as anyway, and just the anxiety kind of issues an added thing onto that as well. Because naturally I like my own company anyway, and there is plus points to that, you know, that you can enjoy doing things on your own, whereas some other people, they don't like to be in the house on their own or whatever, you know. Some people, like my girlfriend, she doesn't really like that. She doesn't like being on her own too much. She always likes having someone to talk to, whereas me, I enjoy my own company and I feel comfortable in my own company, and not seeing somebody for a whole day, or it can be fun for me. And enjoying things like going to a movie by myself, eating a meal, you know, just spending a day going around a town by myself, it's perfectly fine. Where some people would struggle with that, and that's kind of, it's, you know, I see it as it's on like a scale. Some people are more tolerant to social situations, some people are less tolerant, and I'm more on the less of where it fatigues me. And I think it comes from being that I'm naturally introverted, and some of that, I don't know if it comes from family and, you know, your genes, because my mother is very introverted. She's very like a quiet person, so I think I kind of got it from there. But I think you can have things growing up that will affect you as well, like having two older brothers, and one of them, when he was living at home, the eldest brother was could be quite harsh with the bullying and the sibling kind of control kind of thing. So that kind of made you more, you know, you didn't want to get noticed, and you didn't want to draw attention to yourself as much, and just other things like that, like certain things that you would be into, they would then, you would get ridicule off your other siblings in the house. So kind of when you went out into the world after that, you're kind of wary of wanting to share your interests straight away with other people, and you kind of more take a bit of time to, you know, weigh somebody up and gauge whether that kind of person's somebody you're going to get on with, or whether they're going to be, you know, they're going to be somebody who's you're going to clash with you or ridicule you or whatever. It makes you a lot more wary if you've had kind of experiences of that at home. I think that kind of had a big impact maybe in my younger years. But other issues as well, I was going to say that can help and make it more important. Like, I sometimes get, you know, bad moods and kind of depressions sometimes as well, and that can heighten your introvertedness. It makes you more want to go into yourself and not talk to people. It makes you, then you've had the feel, you know, you don't want to talk to people, you don't want to go out. Like, you know, sometimes I just have these bad mental fogs, and it'll just make you want to sit there and just not do anything. And it's like kind of a real push to push through that, and then want to go and do something, and, you know, to break out of it is tiring within itself. So then that can make it harder, and it comes into it, and those kind of things can play off against each other. If you have like forms of depression, it can be a kind of vicious circle, whereas, you know, you're being introverted, you're going out, and then you're coming back and you're getting depressed about you being introverted, and that in turn makes you more introverted the next time you go out, and that kind of thing. And that's how mine kind of worked. You know, I go to school and I'd be thinking, why am I so quiet, kind of thing. And then you get depressed, and the whole thing goes in a circle. And that's kind of what my experiences were of it at high schools anyway. And that's how my other kind of issues can come into play with that as well. But that's the kind of reason I wanted to do this video, was just because I watched it and I just thought, well, that kind of rings true with me. So I thought I wanted to kind of put my experiences out there as well, and just see whether people, you know, thought they had similar things, or, you know, so other people could look at this video and say, you know, I know exactly what, you know, you mean by that, or yeah, that's like me, and things like that. That's why I wanted to do this video, because it's kind of a weird one because you go on about being introverted and then people see you doing YouTube videos and they'll be like, well, if you don't like attention, because mine's more of having the attention on me. As soon as attention goes on me, like as well within conversations, that's when the anxiety levels rise. As I feel more people's attention's on me, it rises and I get more anxious. And so people be like, oh, you're doing YouTube videos, you know, maybe how can you do that? And it's kind of a strange thing because doing a video is a whole lot different. There's a kind of buffer between me talking and you, the viewer, whoever ends up watching this. I'm not face to face with you, I'm doing this, and you've kind of got a level of control of when you're actually doing the videos. You've got the choice of whether you want to go and put that on YouTube. But there's a kind of, you've got a distance between you. You know, you record it, then you press upload, you know, you put it on your computer, you press upload and you put it on and you just let it go. You kind of just do a drop, let it go, and then you wait and see what kind of replies you get. And I kind of wanted to do videos. I got into just doing YouTube that was a kind of thing as well, just to push myself out of my comfort zone and to do something that would make me more on the extrovert side of things, kind of bring that side of me out a little bit more. And I think really that has got to be down to you to kind of get yourself out of there. You can get help and you can talk to people and get support off your friends and things like that, but a lot of it is down to you. It's kind of like you've got to go, well, I'm going to say this on another video, which doesn't sound good, but you got to kind of expose yourself to people, but not in the other sense. You know, you've got to go and be around people a bit, because it's kind of like when you go to a theme park and there's a big roller coaster, you know, the white knuckle rides, and you get that fear in your belly, and that feeling of, you get the feeling of anxiety when you're queuing up and waiting for it, and then when you go on the ride and you go around and you actually enjoy it, you get the buzz of you've gone and done it and things like that, and you get the positive experience and after that anxiety. And I think the good thing to do is to keep doing that, keep pushing yourself a little bit at a time, because the more you try and avoid the anxiety, the more that you'll shut yourself away, the bigger the anxiety gets, and the more you'll build it up in your mind for the next time that you want to go out and you have to do something, it'll be a worse experience. So that's kind of why I did it, because I like to try and keep myself on a more social, I'm trying to be more socially active and things like that, because that helps when you go out there and you realise, you know, it's not too bad. And that's why it's been especially great. Well, I've had good experiences so far with the video games community, doing my video games, because they're kind of an easy place to start with something like that, because you can just talk about it, pick something up, you know, pick up something and be like, you know, oh, I got this, and talk about that, and talk about what you think about that, and like going on sites like that, and on collection sites like collections.com, or going on, you know, Twitter, talking to people in that community and getting great, you know, feedback. Because that's one thing you feel the worst sometimes, and as well with me being introverted, sometimes you think, I always get a feeling of, oh, I'm not being genuine, or things like that, because I'm not outwardly expressive sometimes. It's hard, you get a feeling that, oh, people aren't going to take you as a genuine person and kind of things like that. But it's all just doing it in age. Helps a lot as well. As you go through life, you kind of figure out that, you know, things don't matter as much. And I mean, I always sort of, I've got that side of my mind anyway, that I don't really care what people think, but it's just kind of this other side of my head that just still makes the thoughts anyway. I just can't help it. But yeah, that's the kind of things. Oh, is your cartoon gone off?
Yeah, can you put it on again?
Yeah, I'll put it on again in a minute. That's a small little girl. Come here. Yeah, that's a small little girl, and she's not shy at all. But yeah, I'm very much like that. I'll go and put it on in a minute. Yeah, say bye bye.
Bye bye.
And that helps having, you know, a family when you grow up and you have kids and things like that. Like my little girl has helped me so much with that. With, you know, you've got to go out and do stuff, and it makes you want to push yourself then for them. to show them that you're kind of a stronger person and things like that. But that's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess I've rambled a bit on this video, but I just kind of wanted to show my experiences and then, you know, set it out there and kind of get feedback off people and things like that. But do more videos where I'm, you know, just to show that, you know, I'm not a two-dimensional person that's just, you know, oh yes, I'm a video games and DVD collector and that's all I do. You know, there's a real person behind that, you know, and I kind of wanted to do more videos like this and do videos that were kind of harder to do, that were going to push me a bit more, because these videos are a lot harder to do. You know, you're talking about, you know, real things. It's not just some objects that you've got or you've bought. And, you know, I was really interested to see how well they come across. But that's kind of it for the video, because I'm going to go downstairs now and watch the big football match, Man United versus Liverpool. But that's about it, and that's all I got time for. So any feedback or anything like that, your views, hopefully this video, you know, strike a chord with a lot of people, and you know, it'll kind of help you. It's helped me a lot to kind of get this kind of stuff off my chest and you know, talk about it. It's been very, you know, it's made me feel a lot better. I'm a lot happier now. Maybe, I don't know if it's shown towards the end of the video now that I've been talking about things like this, and it's really helped me. So hopefully it'll help other people do it, and maybe they'll do reply videos to this. That's something I'd really love to see, somebody maybe doing a reply video. That'd be probably the best thing that I could get out of this. But I'll just thank anybody for watching this who gives any good feedback or anything like that. I just really, really appreciate it. But that's all I've got time for, folks, and I'm out.